Top stories. The fight for freedom of information legislation in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean continues as the Media Institute of the Caribbean calls for more to be done. There is no need for added incentives for persons to take the COVID-19 vaccine, says a minister of government. And regionally, over 1,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gas is being released by the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Hi, I'm Abby Diskin. Welcome to the Skn Newsline Newscast.
A government minister claims there is no need for added incentives to motivate persons to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Skn Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
On the issue of providing incentives for persons to be vaccinated, Minister of Education, Youth, Sport and Culture John Powell said the best incentive is to be able to get back to work. Speaking with Skn Newsline and responding to the suggestion by some persons that government could increase the rate of vaccination towards herd immunity by providing vaccination incentives, Minister Powell believes that being able to work effectively with the minimum of impediments is the best incentive to be vaccinated.
I'm not sure what they mean by incentives, but the opportunity to work should be an incentive enough. We have quickly turned into a tourism-based economy. And we've seen the fallout in that economy by the COVID-19 pandemic. The only way for us to get back into that tourist industry properly is through vaccinations. We've been told by cruise ships who we expect to start returning, I think, from next month, that the passengers thereon will all have to be fully vaccinated. The taxi drivers, the caterers, everybody else who will want to deal with them, with those tourists once they're here, must be fully vaccinated. Even in terms of the CPL games that are coming here in August and September, any service providers, whether they be caterers, drivers, cleaners, ground staff at the various parks, must all be fully vaccinated. And so I think that in itself is sufficient incentive for those in particular who have the most to gain by going back to work. For the rest of us, it means our economy can open up a lot more than it is now, and more money is flowing in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Notwithstanding objections by some persons to be vaccinated and calls for incentives to be vaccinated, Ministry of Health information indicate that as of Tuesday, 4th May 2021, over 13,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine had been administered, representing near 40% of the 70% herd immunity required to fully reopen for economic activity. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris and Minister of Health Akil Byron Nisbet received their second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
The fight for freedom of information legislation in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean continues as the Media Institute of the Caribbean calls for more to be done. Skn Newsline's Andre Huey reports.
There is urgent need for access to information and freedom of information legislation and improvements to what currently exists, says the Media Institute of the Caribbean, MIC. In a statement issued in light of World Press Freedom Day 2021, which is observed on May 3rd, the Media Institute of the Caribbean said during the pandemic period, there has been a marked increase in the number of refusals for information from journalists. The MIC expressed concerns that in light of the challenges facing media companies in small island developing states due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the importance of the dissemination of accurate information and assuring quality journalism, there is need for a freer flow of information. The MIC disclosed that in a survey it commissioned in October 2020, as much as 54% of the journalists had to seek additional employment due to changes in newsroom portfolio. It said, quote, "The pandemic circumstances show the necessity for quality journalism and the significance of a constant and free flow of information as demanded by the public. The irony of our current situation is the evident significance of the role of media in a time of crisis. Yet we seem to be fighting extinction. There are peculiarities of the media ecosystem in small island developing states, including the level of financial dependence on government and state advertising revenue, and the small economies of scale with deteriorating revenue from the private sector. There is a challenge for economic survival. Among the more important requirements of such a commitment is the entrenched presence of mechanisms to facilitate the free flow of official information. These include better resourced public information systems, a more conducive culture of governance, and the presence of strong, meaningful legislation to better facilitate public access to state-held information, end quote. St. Kitts and Nevis, like most countries in the Eastern Caribbean and the wider region, does not have a functioning freedom of information legislation. Though the bill has passed through the National Assembly, it is still to be activated pending the required regulations. Asked by Skn Newsline about the state of the legislation at the Prime Minister's press conference in March this year, Attorney General Vincent Barron said work is still being done to prepare the relevant departments.
What I would say, Glenn, is that we have employed over time a number of people who are involved in information. So, for instance, in the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs, there is an information officer, and their information officers are being employed across the public service. Their duty would be to ensure that records are kept and in such a way that requests for information can be responded to. Not only do we have information officers, but some ministries also go as far as to have communications officers who also assist in disseminating information on the public bodies.
MIC noted that the observation of World Press Freedom Day 2021 focuses heavily on the value of information as a public good, and for the Caribbean, this strikes an important chord within the context of public information as a key component of the achievement of developmental goals. This year's UNESCO's World Press Freedom Conference pointed to the themes relevant to the region: media capture and media extinction, the MIC added. The Institute said journalists stay determined to get facts, data, and information in the public interest. In advance of the May 3rd World Press Freedom Day, U.S. Embassy Bridgetown partnered with Barbados Journalists and the Caribbean Investigative Journalism Network, CIJN, to celebrate the importance of a free press as an indispensable component of any free society. To mark the occasion, the embassy hosted a 3-day virtual investigative journalism workshop for over 50 Caribbean journalists. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline. Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500, homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007, or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve.
I need some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
Football is back, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association will be bringing you live football on its website, www.sknfa.com, with Premier League Live. Without fans in the stadium due to COVID-19 protocols, you can now watch every single Premier League match this season on www.sknfa.com and click on Live TV. Games are shown live on every match day with halftime and post-game shows. It's Premier League Live. Commentary, analysis, action. Never miss a game.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on College Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
Welcome back. The Nevis Island Administration recently announced a $3.8 million road development project for Butler's Village, but the Nevis Reformation Party has some reservations. Andre Huey reports.
The announcement by the Nevis Public Works Minister Spencer Brand that the Nevis Island Administration, the NIA, will be investing $3.8 million to enhance the road infrastructure in Butler's Village, St. James, is welcome news for the opposition Nevis Reformation Party, according to the party's former chairman, Dr. Kelvin Daly. Dr. Daly, who is the chairman of the NRP's St. Paul's Constituency Executive, said, however, that there must be more transparency with this and other public projects implemented by the NIA.
The roads are terrible in Butlers. There's no doubt about it. And the roads are indeed are long overdue. All right? A lot of work was done, or promised to be done. Since every campaign season, they start work and they start work. As soon as the campaign is over, they start again. They stop again. And so it's been on and off in Charles Road camps. It's been a terrible, short, myopic view to road infrastructure development we've been seeing from this government. I'm excited though, and that the people in Butler to finally get some kind of relief for the road conditions over there. My concern, as it always is, who is going to be accountable for registering the cost? Who is we have never got an accounting of any project on it. The NRP has always advocated freedom of information. Tell us what these projects cost. What is the initial estimate? What is the final cost? Handels Road has finished for years. Brownie Road just finished last year. Craddock Road finished last year. Up to now, we can't figure out what was the total expenditure versus what was the projected expenditure. How are they picking contractors to these roads? Are they just picking their own supporters or not? These are questions that NRP has always said. There need to be more transparency and more accountability.
Minister Spencer Brand spoke to residents from the Butler's Village area at a town hall meeting recently at the Butler's Community Centre about the impending road rehabilitation project.
And in this difficult times, that is a significant sum of money that the NIA is committed to expending on this project. I would say to you that over 90% of that financing would be placed in the hands of individuals. Width of the road, I would advise, would be between 16 and 17 feet. That is basically the width of the island main road, almost. So, you will be getting a width of road that is comparable anywhere throughout the length and breadth of Nevis. I am also told that it is some 5,200 feet in length, or I understand that is, if my math is correct, that is about a mile of roadwork, or close to a mile of roadwork here in the Butlers area.
Dr. Ernie Stapleton, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Communications and Works, appealed to the residents of Butlers for patience and understanding during the road work. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline.
The UWI Seismic Center reaffirms position on concerns regarding volcanic activity in St. Kitts. More in this report.
The stance on the current condition of Mount Laimiga was reconfirmed by UWI Seismic Research Center Director Dr. Rosella Joseph, who said there is nothing unusual taking place with the volcano. The matter arose when a video of fumarole activity was shared on social media, causing some persons to become concerned, with some individuals reaching out to the news media. Skn Newsline previously reached out to the UWI Seismic Research Center when the video was circulated. The center provided a timely and an official response on the matter, claiming the need for any alarm. The news media house also attempted to obtain a response from the local National Emergency Management Agency, but was told no one was available to provide a response on the matter. However, on the recent briefing of the National Emergency Operations Center, the matter was addressed, with input from Dr. Joseph, who addressed the key concerns of persons in communities on St. Kitts.
So with respect to that video, if we go back again, the type of activity that was seen is a normal hydrothermal activity. It was not unusual for the Amiga, and it does not indicate that there is an increase in the activity of the volcano. The other concern that people often say is that when one volcano erupts in our region, it's linked to other volcanoes, and other volcanoes can show unrest. That again is not true. The processes the processes throughout the region that actually allow for the formation of the volcanoes, that's the same. Yes, it means that we are in a subduction zone, as I mentioned before, and this is what allows the formation of volcanic islands. But in terms of the plumbing systems of the volcanoes being linked, no, each volcano is different and has its own plumbing system, and one activity at one does not necessarily allow for another one to increase in activity.
Mount Lyamiga was reclassified by the UWI Seismic Research Center in the 1980s as being live rather than dormant, indicating that it could erupt sometime in the future. Glenn Barth reporting for Skn Newsline.
Elliott's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliott's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500, homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007, or 660-0186. Elliott's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve.
I need some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
Football is back, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association will be bringing you live football on its website, www.sknfa.com, with Premier League Live. Without fans in the stadium due to COVID-19 protocols, you can now watch every single Premier League match this season on www.sknfa.com and click on Live TV. Games are shown live on every match day with halftime and post-game shows. It's Premier League Live. Commentary, analysis, action. Never miss a game.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
We now turn our attention to the regional news.
More than 1,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gas is being released daily from the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, according to Dr. Roderick Stewart, scientist monitoring the volcano. More from SVG News.
The La Soufrière volcano is reportedly releasing more than 1,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gas into the atmosphere daily. This was revealed on radio today by lead monitoring scientist monitoring the volcano, Dr. Roderick Stewart, who said that measurements of the gas were recorded 3 days ago, and while there have been no explosions for more than 2 weeks, the gases indicate that the volcano is still in a state of unrest.
We've had a number of measurements, and I think on 3 or 4 cases they've been above 1,000 tons per day.
Yes.
And in other cases they've been as low as maybe 300 or 300 or 400 tons per day.
Okay.
And these are all measurements saying that there is gas coming out. It really needs to get down to 100 or less than that to be more of a background sort of thing. But so the levels we've been getting are above what you'd expect if the volcano was going back to sleep.
Dr. Stewart said that they cannot rule out the possibility of an explosion within a 24-hour period. He added that there needs to be a further analysis on the crater to better understand what is taking place. However, the seismologist maintains that for the time being, it is safe for persons to return to the orange zone once authorized.
So the volcano is seriously putting out gas, and we really need to get a look into the crater to see exactly what's going on, to see if we can resolve the gas and the seismic. So until we've got more information, really not in a position to say we can have a total relaxation.
Okay, all right.
But as we discussed yesterday, that doesn't stop us allowing things in the orange zone, So
yes.
The red zone still has to be a no-go area.
Okay.
The orange zone is okay.
Lahars, or mudflows, were observed coming down from the flanks of La Soufrière yesterday following pockets of light to moderate showers. Dr. Stewart reported that the lahars were strongest between 11 a.m. and 12 noon yesterday, which came down with destructive materials. He said the monitoring team was on the ground and experienced the lahars firsthand.
A couple of my colleagues were up near the Wallet when it was happening, and they said at one point there were boulders that were 5 meters in diameter. That's 15 feet diameter boulders being rolled down by the lahar. And, it was undercutting banks, it was taking trees down, and it was steaming, like the ones we saw last week. Was it Thursday? Some of the time the lahar was steaming, which indicating that there was hot water in there.
Yes.
So, yes, it's very spectacular and very, very damaging.
There are concerns in Tobago about the rise in COVID-19 cases. More from TTT News.
Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Ansel Dennis, is urging Tobagonians to not become complacent. Speaking at Wednesday's post-executive media briefing, he stressed that the increase in COVID cases on the island should be a cause for concern.
Here in Tobago, we have moved from 6 cases back then, on March 31st, to 56 cases as I stand here today. And while some may suggest that we here in Tobago do not need to engage in the kind of lockdown and in the kind of caution that is required in the sister isle Trinidad, I want to suggest to us that 56 cases here on the island is nothing to be comfortable about.
Mr. Dennis said that the THA has spent millions in support provisions for Tobagonians since the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have spent $56 million in support to businesses and individuals on this island to ensure that they are able to survive during this period, to ensure that they are able to adjust and adapt. Another $25 million will be identified to continue to give that kind of assistance to the people of Tobago.
Mr. Dennis also admonished the public servants employed within the Department of Social Services to be compassionate and go the extra mile to assist residents on island. He explained that those who received rental assistance in the past and who continue to face financial challenges as a result of the pandemic are free to reapply.
Authorities in Mexico promised to punish those responsible for the collapse of a metro train overpass that killed at least 24 people. Al Jazeera reports.
Emergency officials have finished identifying the bodies of those who died in Monday night's metro train accident in the Mexican capital. Distraught relatives of victims are now demanding to know how such a tragedy could have occurred.
There were 20 to 30 victims, but tomorrow, how many more will there be? Among those 30 was my dad. The only thing my dad used to do was work. He only used to go to work, from home to work. Unfortunately, yesterday, he never came home.
The accident occurred when a metro overpass collapsed onto a busy freeway in southeast Mexico City. The shocking images of bodies being pulled from the wreckage have rattled the confidence of commuters.
To be honest, I think we could see this coming on that metro line because the place it was built on used to be water, so it's not stable and there will always be problems.
Some metro facilities are no longer in good condition, and as you travel, the tracks feel different. Some facilities are not in perfect condition and have not yet been repaired.
It's clear this type of transport isn't adequately maintained.
Some 4.3 million people ride the metro every day. The 12 rail lines that crisscross the Mexican capital are some of the busiest in the world. Though city and federal authorities have promised a thorough investigation into what caused that deadly accident aboard the metro on Monday night, outrage is growing over alleged infrastructure problems all over the city. The accident on Monday night was the deadliest metro disaster since October 1975, when two trains collided, leaving 23 people dead.
We're protesting because of corruption, impunity, lack of care for those of us who live, inhabit and transit in the periphery. Justice for the families.
Metro authorities say rail lines will undergo inspections in the coming days to analyze construction integrity. Commuters fearful that Monday's accident won't be the last. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
We have results in the Skn Division 1 League as well as the Elvis Star Brown Women's League. Let's start with the Skn Division 1 League at the Sandy Point playing field. Recently, KC Trinity Challengers United defeated Rivers of Living Waters 4-3. Scoring for Challengers, Cavid Adams in the 8th minute, Deshaun Billings-Hurts scored a hat-trick in the 32nd, 48th and 80th minutes. For Rivers, goal scorer Khalif Nisbet in the 24th minute, Clive Herbert scored an own goal in the 54th minute, and Leroy Stephen in the 78th minute. Then in match number 2, Mantab, they defeated Davis Construction Lodge Patriots 3-0. Sylvester Alexander scored a hat-trick for Mantab in the 52nd, 61st and 73rd minutes. In the other matchup on the weekend in the SKNFA Division 1 at the Newtown playing field, Connery Fireballs International dropping Hard Times United 4-0. Orlando Mitchum scored a hat-trick in the 21st, 50th and 61st minutes, and Leslie and Dayson in the 78th minute. Then in the LV Star Brown Women's League on Sunday at the Bath playing field, Hobson Enterprises Garden Hotspurs defeating Hot Springs Bath United 2-0. Latoya Clark scored in the 44th minute and Dominique Nelson in the 79th minute. In the other matchup in the Women's League at the Keon playing field, Nadrigo Keon Lady Rockets edging out SKNFA Under 17 Girls Select 1-0. The goal coming from Latoya James from the penalty spot in the 19th minute.
And that will do it for this edition of the Skn Newsline Newscast. From all of us at Skn Newsline and Channel 95, I'm Abby Diskin. Thank you for watching.